I have a question for you, and it may sound slightly paranoid at first, but give it a minute. If somebody is looking directly at you, how do you know they are actually looking at you? Because that used to be one of the simpler parts of being human. You looked at another person, they looked back, and unless one of you was behaving suspiciously near the reduced-price sandwiches, you assumed a normal social interaction was taking place. But now the person looking at you may be wearing camera-equipped smart glasses, which means apparent eye contact could actually be camera alignment, and the friendly stranger asking you an oddly provocative question may not be interested in your answer at all. He may be waiting for your reaction, because your reaction is the product. That appears to be the larger story behind the police investigation into videos reportedly made by Scott Margerison, a 42-year-old social media creator from Rochdale who posts under the name E. Dobbin. According to the BBC, Margerison traveled around Scotland wearing Oakley Meta smart glasses and recorded encounters with members of the public, shop workers and ferry staff who apparently did not realize they were being filmed. Police Scotland says it has received complaints and is assessing the footage to determine whether any offenses may have been committed. Margerison has not been charged, and an investigation does not prove guilt, so we should keep the confirmed facts separate from the allegations and the emotional reaction, although the emotional reaction is also useful because it tells us where the public believes the social boundary should be. And the public appears to be saying that the boundary sits somewhere between accidentally appearing in a tourist's photograph and discovering that a stranger has secretly cast you in his personal TikTok program. The reported videos include sexualized comments about two teenage girls before Margerison approached them and their parents, a conversation with a Sikh shopkeeper involving the far-right Kalargi Plan conspiracy theory, and an encounter in which an older couple were allegedly followed around a supermarket. There was also a visit to the bridge of Calmax MV Loch Seaforth, where filming was reportedly prohibited, but the glasses continued recording. Calmax subsequently introduced restrictions on unplanned bridge visits after crew members, port staff, and members of the public were made uncomfortable. So a privilege previously enjoyed by families and ferry enthusiasts was restricted because one visitor apparently looked at an open door and thought, that would make excellent content. Now there are two different movies playing in people's heads about this story. In the first movie, the creator is simply recording in public, which is often legal in Britain, and anyone objecting is an oversensitive enemy of free expression who has somehow failed to notice that cameras were invented. In the second movie, someone is using disguised recording equipment to provoke unsuspecting strangers, edit the resulting encounters, and publish them to a large audience for attention, influence, or money. Both movies contain a piece of reality, but neither settles the legal question. Recording someone in a public place is not automatically illegal, although that does not create an unlimited right to follow, intimidate, or harass them. The circumstances matter, the pattern of behavior matters, and the difference between passing someone in the street and repeatedly pursuing them around a supermarket may matter quite a lot. Legality is also a strangely low standard for personal behavior. If the finest thing you can say about your conduct is that Parliament has not yet written a specific criminal offense describing it, you may not be standing on the moral summit you imagine. The more interesting distinction is between recording something and publishing it. If a stranger appears in the background of your holiday video, that is one thing, but if you make that person the central character in a confrontation, attach a suggestive caption, and distribute the footage to thousands of people, you have created an entirely different transaction. The stranger supplies the face, emotion, and dramatic tension, while the creator receives the views, followers, and possible financial reward. That sounds less like street photography and more like an employment arrangement in which only one participant knows that anybody has been hired. And this is where the incentives become more useful than arguments about personality. You could conclude that one creator is simply behaving badly, but that explanation is too small because the system rewards the behavior. Meta supplies a camera designed to resemble ordinary eyewear, TikTok supplies an algorithm that rewards attention, and the audience supplies the reactions, arguments, and shares. The creator joins those three pieces together and discovers that another person's discomfort can be converted into engagement. Nobody needs to sit in a secret meeting and design this outcome. The incentives are enough. If calm conversations generated the greatest number of views, TikTok would be filled with considerate people quietly resolving their differences beside the frozen peas. But calm conversations rarely produce the emotional intensity that keeps people watching. Conflict travels further, confusion creates comments, and anger produces sharing. Even disgust with the creator can help distribute the creator's material because the algorithm does not understand moral disapproval. It sees engagement. To the machine, outrage is enthusiasm wearing a false mustache. Smart glasses make the system more powerful because they remove the warning that media production has begun. When somebody raises a telephone and points it towards you, you understand the situation. You may walk away, challenge them, or adjust your behavior, but at least both sides possess roughly the same information. With smart glasses, the wearer knows there is a future audience while the other person does not, and that hidden information changes the encounter. The wearer can perform for the audience, steer the conversation towards conflict, and remain unusually calm because he knows what kind of scene he is constructing. The unsuspecting stranger reacts to the immediate situation, perhaps becoming irritated or confused, while the creator is already thinking about the edited version. Later, the creator decides where the clip begins, where it ends, and which moments survive. He is not merely documenting reality. He is directing it. This is reality television without the expensive and inconvenient parts, such as contracts, informed consent, and safeguarding procedures, plus somebody from the legal department asking whether broadcasting an identifiable teenager might be a dreadful idea. Everyone else becomes an unpaid supporting actor, and they may not discover that the program exists until it has already been broadcast. Meta says its glasses contain a white capture light, which flashes while video is being recorded, and its newer safeguards are intended to disable the camera if that light is covered or physically tampered with. But notice the contradiction built into the product. The commercial attraction of the glasses partly depends upon discretion, because customers do not want to walk around looking as though they have strapped a television studio to their forehead, while the privacy protection depends upon nearby strangers noticing a small blinking light on something specifically designed to resemble normal glasses. The camera is meant to disappear, while the warning is expected to remain obvious. That may be an impressive engineering challenge, but it is an even better marketing contradiction. So how will this play out? My first prediction is that the police investigation will move more slowly than the online outrage, because the police cannot charge someone with being creepy on TikTok, however tempting that administrative shortcut might seem. Investigators will examine particular actions rather than smart glasses in general. They will look at whether anyone was repeatedly followed, threatened, or subjected to conduct that could meet the legal threshold for harassment or another offense. That means a prosecution is possible, but far from certain. My most probable legal outcome is either no charges or a limited action connected to specific behavior, rather than a landmark ruling declaring covert smart glasses recording illegal throughout Britain. The law will probably struggle because it was designed around conduct, location, and harm, not around a pair of spectacles quietly turning every conversation into a potential broadcast. My second prediction is that the creator will benefit from the controversy before suffering any meaningful platform penalty. The investigation itself creates publicity, clips will be reposted by critics, and supporters may interpret any restriction as proof that he has frightened the establishment. If his account is suspended, the story will become censorship. If it remains active, the attention will become vindication. This is the elegant little trap created by the outrage economy. Almost every response can be converted into further content. My third prediction is that businesses and event organizers will act faster than lawmakers. We are already seeing the beginning of it. CalMac has restricted unplanned bridge visits, while Scottish event organizers have introduced bans on Meta glasses and other wearable recording devices. That pattern will spread to conventions, entertainment venues, and workplaces because a laminated sign costs less than a legal battle. The rules will initially be clumsy, and some may need exceptions for people who use smart glasses for accessibility, but the direction is fairly clear. The technology will remain legal while becoming socially unwelcome in more places. Meta will respond with software updates, brighter privacy messaging, and stronger anti-tampering measures, but it is unlikely to abandon the product because smart glasses are becoming commercially important. The company will argue, with some justification, that millions of people use them responsibly and that the problem is misuse by individuals. Critics will reply, also with some justification, that misuse becomes predictable when an almost invisible camera is connected to platforms that financially reward provocation. Both sides will be correct, which is normally how you can tell that the argument will continue for years. The most likely long-term result is not a complete ban on smart glasses. It is a patchwork of restrictions, awkward new etiquette, and growing suspicion. Shops will display no recording notices, venues will require wearable cameras to be removed, and ordinary users will inherit the mistrust created by the most aggressive creators. Eventually, the glasses may become common enough that people assume every pair could be recording, and that may be the greatest social cost of all. We used to assume that being seen was different from being recorded was different from being published, and being published was different from being turned into a monetized character. Those boundaries are now collapsing into a single moment, and the person supplying the face may be the only participant who does not know it is happening. So perhaps the useful way to understand this story is not to ask whether smart glasses are good or bad, because technology is rarely that cooperative. Ask who possesses the information, who controls the edit, who receives the reward, and who absorbs the consequences. Once you ask those questions, the machinery becomes visible. The creator manufactures the encounter, the glasses conceal the production, the platform distributes the confrontation, and the audience rewards the emotional intensity. The stranger supplies the raw material without knowingly agreeing to participate. Apparently, the future has arrived wearing sunglasses, and naturally, its first business model is bothering the staff.